back to the channel. And first of all, I do have to apologise a little bit because we are struggling for audio quality at the moment, so hopefully you can still hear me okay. But at the moment we are running very low on battery, so we've had to disconnect our external microphone again and just run solely on the microphone on the phone. So if it is slightly less audio quality than the other times that you tuned in potentially, then that will be a reason. But you join me as we're just about climbing up this steep bank behind me, ready for, of course, the spotlight hour. So first of all, there is a Gengar nearby, thanks to the Pokédex notifications, but unfortunately it's all the way down there. So we'll wait until these Pokemon have turned into Shellder, but we will go ahead and spin these Pokestops. And of course we need to be prepared as well for the spotlight hour, which starts in 2 minutes time as well. So best way to get prepared for that is, of course, find out what type in Shellder is. And as you can see, we have got a shiny one already. It is just solely a water type, so we're going to go ahead and mega evolve a water type Pokemon. So let's go over and do that now. So if we're going to max mega and type in water, and then we can hopefully get a Kyogre and max mega that. This will give us more candies per Shellder. It will also give us more XP, and of course the bonus tonight is going to be 2 times Catch Stardust, which really is going to be good, and we'll explain that in just a reason. We'll explain a reason for that, should I say, in just a moment when it does start. But let's wait until all these turn into Shellder, and then we'll start walking away and getting some of these Shelders that spawn here and doing the spotlight hour. So make sure to get in touch in the comments down below tonight. Do like when the live stream is filled with comments, and we can answer the questions and have a laugh in the comments down below. But there we go, there are the Shelders that have now appeared, and of course we are going to put some star pieces on. So let's go ahead and put an hour's worth of star pieces on, and of course we are going to clear out what storage we have at the moment, so we don't have to keep doing that. And of course we have got something mega already. We are going to have a look at our XP that we were running at, just shy of 670.9 million XP. And let's go ahead and put a lucky egg on. We're going to do our daily adventure incense, and of course, as we always do, roar of time for the next half an hour, meaning that we get a full hour of lucky eggs. So we are ready, we are set to go, and we have got everything on that we want for the Shellder spotlight hour. So let's go ahead and catch some Shelders. Now, Shellder should be relatively easy to chuck an excellent throw on, and as you can see, it does move a little bit, but hopefully we can just about hit that excellent throw in between its movements. And it is relatively easy to throw an excellent throw on. It's a very nice shiny as well to keep an eye out for. We saw a shiny briefly on the storage that we've had before, but it would be very cool to get one on the stream. And let's go ahead and start walking and catching these Shelders. Now, this is the last brookish task that I've got from the Festival of Colours event. Of course, that finished yesterday, so there's no more brookish tasks about near us. This is a standard non-event task of Stuffle. Now, as we were saying before, Shellder is one of those Pokemon which has a Stardust boost naturally. So as you'll be able to see in just a moment, it's 1000 Stardust per catch normally. You then have a star piece on, or should I say, you then take into account the 2 times Catch Stardust during the spotlight hour, making it 2000. And then of course that star piece, 50% extra, that's another 1000 on top, 3000 Stardust per catch. So an insane amount of Stardust up for grabs. And we will just have a quick look and see what our Stardust is at the moment in time. So we're just shy of 18.25 million Stardust. So let's see what we can get to by the end of the spotlight hour. So we are going to try and hit as many excellent throws as well to try and make the most of that lucky egg, and of course try and keep an eye out for the bright orange one, the shiny one. There's quite a few around here at the moment. Now, a good thing about Shellder is that it does seem to have quite a good catch rate. You don't really have to be using great balls or ultra balls to try and keep this Pokemon inside the ball. You should be okay with just normal Pokeballs. But he does like to move about quite a bit. But as we mentioned before on other videos, definitely seems like that's been a change since Christmas time. That Pokemon seem to move about more when it gets down to the excellent sort of throw circle than we used to. And then of course that all made sense that was a thing that we changed, because of course what did we find on the GO tour? Of course, white and black Kyron both having adventure effects, and both of those are to do with freezing a Pokemon or making it easier to do excellent throws. So we've purposely made it difficult after Christmas so that people get really frustrated, really annoyed with it, and then think those adventure effects are a lot better than what they otherwise were. So definitely a clever technique by Niantic. So we're catching quite a few at the moment, managing to rack our way through these Shellder here. And of course during spotlight hours your spawn spots do increase, so you will see more spawns around you than normal if you go to the same as community day spawns. So there is more spawn spots that appear near you. So you've probably seen that before already, whether you're playing from home or if you've been out and about. Normally there's not that many Pokemon spawning in a given area, but come a spotlight hour or a community day, you'll see a vast increase on the amount of spawns you see. So Ralts, for some reason, getting in on off the daily incense during this spotlight hour for Shellder. Of course, Shellder, Gen 1 Pokemon, its evolution Cloyster. Again, a very nice shiny, but of course doesn't keep that orange shiny that the Shellder inherits when it does sparkle. Instead, Cloyster goes to a very nice blue colour. So a little bit weird how it doesn't keep that orange, but still nonetheless it is a very cool shiny. And we are lucky enough to have this shiny a few times already. So it is just a case of trying to get some more Stardust, some more XP during the spotlight hour, but also we will never turn down another shiny Shellder. So messing up a little bit on the throws, we just need to take a time on these and get as many excellent throws as we can, just to make the most of that lucky egg. And of course Stardust, but that doesn't really matter on how good our throws are. As long as the Pokemon stays in, we will get that 3000 Stardust per catch. Shellder just battering it away there. It's just releasing the ball a little bit too early for the excellent throw. There we go. It's a bit better. So let's go ahead and turn our Pokemon GO Plus on. That should hopefully restock on some Pokeballs for us. Hey matey, how are you? Thanks so much for dropping in. Loads and loads of Shelders knocking about now. Absolutely crazy when it comes to Spotlight Hour spawns, how much a difference is. Got 1 million Stardust during Spotlight Hour. That is pretty impressive. We're going to see how much we get during the hour. I've took a mental note on how much Stardust and also how much XP we've had as well during the, or before the hour should I say, how much XP we started with, and then we'll see at the end how much we earn during the hour. But 1 million Stardust is very good going during the hour, so well done for that. But it is very much a high Stardust catch today. Like we mentioned before, 3,000 Stardust if you've got a star piece on per catch. Doesn't matter what throw you chuck at that Shellder, as long as it stays in, you will get 3,000 Catch Stardust. So a super amount of Stardust on up for grabs during the hour. But of course, with it being Shellder, it's quite nice to excellent throw as well. So we have put a lucky egg on, and of course, one of our yearly targets is XP. Trying to hit 1 billion XP by the end of the year. That is going to be a very difficult target to try and do. Arguably the hardest target I've ever tried to complete in a year. And we will have to wait and see how we are doing with that target come the first of the month. We always do a monthly update at the start of every month, so make sure to keep an eye out for that on the channel. Another excellent throw there. I'm hoping these Shelders are staying in the ball. Seem to be staying somewhere at least. So if anybody's done the Spotlight Hour already in your time zone, did you manage to get a shiny? What sort of Stardust did you get? Let me know in the comments down below. Terrible throw on that Shellder. Let's just run away from that. So if you do a quick catch and you do a terrible throw, you don't think it's going to be hitting back as an excellent, you can actually just run away mid-throw. As soon as your buddy hits it back, you can run away during a quick catch, and then you can encounter that again, so you can have another go at throwing and not have to rely on your buddy finishing off that throw. That was an absolute terrible throw on that last one. Better look this time. There's another excellent. So Shadow Totodile on this gym coming up. And of course Totodile is going to be featured this weekend for the March Classic Community Day. It's going to be a very interesting community day, that is. I would definitely recommend you playing that, and mainly for one reason. Of course, Totodile is a very nice Pokemon. It's a fan favourite of the Gen 2 season And of course, it is going to be featured as part of a new game. It's going to be one of the new starter Pokemon in the ZA game, Legend ZA, and that also means it could very well get a new Mega Evolution. So it is going to be something very, very good in the game potentially. So it's definitely worth trying to harvest that candy, and of course trying to get a good one and potentially a decent shiny one during this Comday Classic over the weekend. Because if it is a starter Pokemon and the Legend ZA game is all to do with the Mega Evolutions coming back round, we saw it on some of the trailers. Mega Absol was being used on the trailer, and also the Mega symbol lit up, meaning that it is going to be using Mega Pokemon, unlike the recent games where we've obviously had the Terra Pokemon, the terrestrial Pokemon, and of course we've had the Paradox Pokemon as well. We have now got the Megas returning back round, which is going to be really exciting. But with Totodile being one of the starters, I would be very, very surprised if that's not had a new Mega in the game, and it is going to be something worth trying to get the candy for over this Community Day Classic on Saturday. So definitely worth trying to do that if you can. Now another Mega Pokemon which has been found in the code on the new Legends ZA game. It's definitely a brand new Mega that's been found in the code, and it is Victory Bell. So Victory Bell potentially could be a decent one to try and get a hold of, because it may get a Mega Evolution. Launcher still not shiny. We are hunting that down as one of the most wanted wild shinies in 2025. Well, it is the most wanted wild shiny in 2025 on my game. That is a target to try and get a shiny one of those. And luckily for me, it is featured on the next event. So Deep Depths event, which starts tomorrow, features Launcher, and it is shiny boosted. So hopefully we can get a shiny Launcher tomorrow or in the days coming up. The event starts tomorrow, so hopefully over the next few days we can get a shiny Launcher and tick that one off our yearly goals on Pokemon GO for 2025. But we'll have to see how easy it is to obtain, whether it is just shiny boosted in the wild or whether it's going to be shiny boosted behind eggs or something like that. I'm going to have to sit and read all the information about the event and see what it's in to try and get the best chance of getting that shiny. And of course, during that event, we will also see the release of Nickit. So Nickit will be released, the little fox Pokemon. Nickit and its evolution will be released on the game. And I think that's going to be locked behind eggs. So definitely check out the information on the event to see what egg that's behind. But it is not going to be appearing in the wild. It's just going to be behind eggs. So definitely check that out if you can. Hey Emma, how are you? Bird off the incense, not the bird that we want. Swallow, the evolved form of Taylor, of course. Still no Shiny Shellder. So let's just clear the storage out. We're getting very close to getting full again with all these Shelders. No 736 on there, so let's try it again. There we go, stayed in that time. No shinies as of yet. 17 minutes into a spotlight hour, still no shiny. Of course, it isn't shiny boosted tonight, unfortunately. It is the full odd Shellder, so it's 1 in 512. It's a very, very nice shiny. I hope we do get one during the live stream. Unfortunately, not much luck at the moment, although what we are liking very much so this spotlight hour is if we let this run through and it does catch, you'll be able to see the amount of Stardust we are getting per catch. Shellder is a boosted Stardust Pokemon, meaning it's 1000 per catch normally. We then have a 2x Catch Stardust event during the spotlight hour, meaning it's 2000 per catch. And then of course you use a star piece and you get up to 3000 Stardust per catch. So you don't even have to hit a good one for that. You just have to make sure it stays in. Hey, thanks so much for joining. Make sure to like and subscribe if you are new to the channel and watching for the first time. I very much appreciate it. But in terms of how it's going, no shinies as of yet. We haven't checked to see if we've got any hundos. We are just literally trying to catch as many Shelders as possible because of that Stardust increase. And of course we are running with a luck egg on at the moment and using daily adventure incense because we want to try to get some more Shellder spawns, but if they don't spawn we could potentially get a Galarian bird as well. You could probably hear I'm currently walking past the sheep field, so there's a lot of sheep making a lot of noise next to me. Loads of Shelders up here. I'm surprised by how many there is in this spot, to be honest. I know the spotlight hours increase the spawns, but we don't normally get this many up here. Although I am definitely not complaining. Little sheep friends trying to join the live stream. Hello to you. Hello to you too. I wonder if the sheep near me are trying to get the shiny to appear as well. Perhaps they're cheering me on. Perhaps that's what the sheep are doing. They're cheering me on. Excellent throw there again on the Shellder, like we mentioned before. Very, very easy to do the excellent throw on. It's just trying to get that consistency and trying to get it when Shellder doesn't move. It does like to jump about quite a bit, as you can see there. Now, it's obviously quite comical growing up seeing Shellder as a Gen 1. I only grew up with Gen 1. Gen 2 was added afterwards, and I did grow up with that as well. It was probably by Gen 3 where that was sort of like the last generation I got involved with in terms of on Game Boy and on, of course, Nintendo as well. And then, of course, along came this game. But the first few gens are definitely a lot more sentimental to me. They take me back to my early childhood, especially with the likes of Shellder from Gen 1. And it was always quite a comical growing up and seeing Shellder because everybody used to say it was effectively a Ghastly trapped inside a shell. I could see that resemblance, and of course its evolution cloister does look similar to a Ghastly trapped inside a big shell, and I could see that resemblance there. So whether that is something to do with it, but of course completely two different types of Pokemon. One's ghost and one's of course water type, but they are quite comical to see stuff like that. So it definitely reminds me back in my childhood, having those discussions with mates who also used to play Pokemon back in the day, as most of you probably have growing up. It's been a big part of all of our lives, I'm sure. And here we are in 2025, still playing it to this day, and hopefully for many years to come. We'll have to wait and see, of course, what Scopely do with it. Now they have brought it from Niantic for a huge $3.5 billion, and that's not including the additional $350 million for the next 6 months, which is going to be for paying the Niantic staff before the transfer is completed and all that stuff. So a total of actually 3.85 billion is going to be for the Pokemon game and all the Niantic games. It's going to be a ridiculous amount of money, but of course it is a hugely popular game, and hopefully under the control of a proper gaming company. Of course, Niantic have never stated that they are a proper gaming company. They've always stated that they are an AR company. They are augmented reality. They all obviously push that in the game. They try and get us to scan Pokestops, to scan the area around us, and that's to try and build up this AR world that they want to try and create. But of course, with Scopely, they are definitely more focused on mobile games. And I know there's been a lot of negativity about Scopely. There's been a lot of stuff said about them, about how the adverts are and pushing for in-game purchases and all that stuff. But we've been complaining about the in-game purchases in Pokemon GO for ages now, and can that get any worse? We'll have to wait and see. But in terms of adverts, I don't see them actually adding adverts into the game. And the reason behind that is because other games that Scopely own, like Monopoly Go, they don't have any way of really generating money. They have to use the likes of adverts because they can't really sell the amount of stuff that they do on Pokemon Go. There's no raid passes or anything equivalent like that on Monopoly, and of course you can't really customize your avatar as much as you can on Pokemon Go. Pokemon Go has pretty much everything you want to try and earn money for a company. You can do it. So you can buy storage space, you can buy bag space, you can buy all the different items of clothing for your avatar, you can dress it up how you want it, you can buy loads of Pokeballs, you can buy loads of items of a shop, you can buy coins to get all these items with. It's got everything, loads of ways of making money, and of course it does make a huge amount of money. So I can't see Scopely changing too much really, at least for the next year or so. The only big change I probably see coming on the horizon after this sort of Go Fest is that there may be an additional Go Fest location, an additional events location in the Middle East, because of course Scopely is Saudi Arabia, and there isn't really any events, any Pokemon Go events in Saudi Arabia. It was only a couple of years ago where the game actually got launched there, and that is why Niantic and Scopely had to talk to each other, because Scopely own the gaming rights in Saudi Arabia, which means if you want to launch Pokemon Go and make it playable in Saudi Arabia, you had to do a deal with Scopely, and from that point Scopely owned 5% of Niantic, and then of course they discussed and brought the rest of it. So it is a huge acquisition for Scopely, but I can't see them doing too much to distort the game too much. But it definitely won't make huge changes and run the risk of losing all the fan base and player base. I think if you do any changes, it will be very slow and very specific. But I can't see them changing too much. If anything, it may be a good thing. I hope it is a good thing, I really do. I hope that we can sort of say 2-3 years time that yes, that was the best thing to ever happen for the Pokemon Go game and all the Niantic games. I really do hope that is the case, but we'll have to wait and see, of course. But yeah, it's going to be a very interesting next few years on the game, and of course seeing what Scopely do with it. Hopefully it's going to be a fun few years as well. Now we're roughly around about the 30-minute mark, nearly halfway through the spotlight hour, and we are coming back into where we've got quite a few more spawns. The Roar of Time on our Dialga is going to run out in around about 3 minutes time, but then we still have another half an hour on a Lucky Egg, which should see us up till 7 PM, and of course we have some star pieces on as well as that Rotom, which has frozen them. So we've probably got about an hour left of star pieces after that Rotom finishes in 3 minutes time. Terrible throws of me. Stuffle will not be able to throw it far enough, it doesn't seem. So 28 minutes in. Again, if you're new to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button on the video. We are trying to push for more subscribers. We're trying to make it so that the channel gets bigger and that I can give back to you. And to do that, we have to reach certain thresholds. If you're a YouTube creator yourself, you know this. You have to reach certain thresholds before you can pretty much do anything else, anything more. Before you can start making your own merchandise and all that stuff, you have to reach certain thresholds of watch time and amount of content and all that stuff. And it's mainly just the watch time hours now, which we are lacking on a little bit. So if you do know anybody, of course, make sure to share this with them. If they're a Pokemon Go fan, trying to get more people subscribed onto the channel, it makes a huge difference. And it means that if the channel gets bigger, we can make everything else bigger and make the videos better, which is also better for you. And also it would be amazing to get into a position where we can start giving back to the regular viewers, and we can start giving giveaways away and stuff like that. It'll be absolutely incredible if we can get to that stage. But obviously, to do that, we need your support from the beginning. So please make sure to hit that subscribe button if you can. Another Clauncher on the daily adventure incense. Still no shiny. Hoping for that one to sparkle over the next couple of days. We will switch into Great Balls now. We've got 110 Pokeballs left. We'll just switch into the Great Balls just so these stay in a little bit easier. Not that they're difficult to catch, but we are running out of Pokeballs. Definitely need to regain some Pokeballs after catching a lot of Pokemon over the weekend. We caught nearly 1,500 Pokemon on Sunday alone during the Arch and Catch Mastery event. Of course, 2 times Catch XP during that event, so that is the reason why we were trying to catch so many Pokemon. But we did get nearly 3.5 million XP during Sunday alone, which is very good. So it's nice to be walking around here in the UK and it being 6:30 at night and actually still light outside. The evenings are drawing out now, meaning that we can do our preferred route during Spotlight Hour like we have done tonight. And it means that we don't run out of spawns, having to go back and forth the same way. We don't get that, so it does mean that we can keep topped up with the spawns. Now, normally around here we do get quite a few spawns as well, so I'm hoping that is still the case. And it has been quite lucky for us in the past down here. We've had quite a few of our Spotlight Hour shinies from down this area. So maybe we might be able to add to that today. Absolutely caning these excellent throws. Missing a few, but not too many. So around about 90% of what we're throwing is currently excellent throws, that one being an exception, of course. Commentator's curse, as always. The next two are completely terrible. One great and then one nothing at all. Are any of these going to be sparkling for us? As we work our way through them from right to left on the screen, as you can see. None at the moment. Let's spin this gym, and the gym's already respawned. The Pokemon GO Plus must have picked up on that. There is also a new Dynamax up here with Chansey, which got released yesterday during Max Monday. Loads of Shelders around here, as you can see. Sprigatito heading it back there, managing to make the catch. $13 CP off a daily incense. We've probably caught that, but like we've mentioned before, daily adventure incense can't be quick caught. They can be quick caught, but they don't disappear off a map. So they do still remain there. So you can actually spend loads of Pokeballs chucking at it, even though you've already caught it. Best way to know if you've already caught it is when you see a daily adventure incense spawn come in, memorize the CP and then quickly check your storage, or just only chuck one ball at it, and then you've either caught it or you haven't, and you haven't really lost that many balls by doing that. One more behind this Pokestop up here. Don't tangle. A grass rocket. There it is, Dynamax Chansey. We have got 820 particles left, so we can actually do two more today. We have done one already today, but we won't be doing any during the Spotlight Hour. We might do a couple afterwards if the Spotlight Hour finishes where there is a couple. But we are trying to stay focused on the catches on the incense spawns and trying to get those, as many of those Shelders as we can during the Spotlight. Now, with that said, let's clear out our storage while the spawns have dried up a little bit as we start heading back partly in the same direction in which we came. Another one coming through on the daily incense. A few more new spawns here. We will also use Spatial Rend. So we need Palkia for this one. So this Palkia, which is level 50 with the LA background, very cool, lucky level 50. And we will use Spatial Ren for the next 20 minutes. So that should see us up to near enough 7 o'clock. And of course, Spatial Ren means that more Pokemon in a bigger circumference will appear around us, so we can see more from a further distance. As you can see there, it's already working. Those 3 Shelders we couldn't see before, we now can. And that means, of course, more shiny chance because we have more spawns to check. It also means more Stardust, more XP because we are catching those spawns. So it is definitely worth using from time to time. And especially when we're down here at the moment, we are obviously walking back the same sort of way at the moment, but we'll be going a slightly different way back where we'll get additional spawns that we haven't already had. But this first stage at least, we will be walking back the same way which we came down, so we will get some spawns still by getting those further out ones that we couldn't otherwise see on the first journey down here. We should hopefully be able to see those on the way back, which should keep us entertained until we get some more spawns pop up. There you go, one more Shellder across there. And a couple more there. We're knocking the excellent throws out of the park at the moment. Let's just see what CP that was. 870, and we have caught it. So 2/3 of the way through Spotlight Hour so far. And in terms of Stardust wise, we have done 750,000 Stardust, so getting ever so closer to that million mark for the hour. A really good total. I know one of our regulars in the comments did manage to do 1 million during his Spotlight Hour, so huge effort there. Hopefully we can match that effort during this Spotlight Hour. Terrible throw on that occasion, off the daily adventure and sense one. So we probably haven't got much longer left to go on that daily adventure instance. In fact, we've only got 4 minutes left. And again, it seems to be another Spotlight Hour where the Spotlight featured Pokemon has sort of taken over the daily adventure instance. And we haven't seen any glowing birds. We've seen the odd other Pokemon. Shelmet's just appeared. Shelmet perhaps feeling left out because its name is very similar to the featured Pokemon tonight, Shellder. The excellent throw on the second time of asking. Shellders appearing now. Now into a newer area that we haven't visited so far tonight. Terrible throw on that Shellder out. So hopefully we've racked up quite a bit of XP tonight with these excellent throws. And of course a lucky egg which we've got on. We'll obviously check towards the end how much we have actually earned during the hour. Quite a few across here as well. Let's clear out our current Shellders and start collecting these ones. Terrible timing for a jump there. Getting it on that occasion. So some Shellders seem to be very low CP, around about 14, level 1. And then some seem to be around the 700 mark, as you can see here, 669. So a vast array of levels on showing. And loads of Shellders, as you can see. Absolutely loads and loads of them. Of course, that Roar of Time helping, sorry, that Spatial Rend, should I say, helping with the increased spawns as well from a further out distance. Hopefully these go in first ball, because we could be here quite a while if we didn't. Start working towards from the left hand side. Cutie fly off the incense now. Potentially one of the last spawns. It is in fact the last spawn. No shiny cutie fly. Still an excellent throw nonetheless. Loads and loads of Shellders. I've never seen so many Shellders before, all stacked up virtually on top of each other here. Crazy amount of Shellders. We're going to try and catch each and every single one of them. So let's spin some of these Pokestops as well. I'm hoping some of these Shellders will start disappearing after the catch registers. And then we should have a bit more of a clearer picture of what we have left over. There we go, we've disappeared now. Obscene amount of Shellders here. But we are getting through them. Nonetheless, still no shiny as of the moment. 13 minutes left to go of the spotlight hour. Just think about all the Stardust that we're currently getting. At this moment in time, we've breached the 19 million mark now. Start clearing out some of these others now on this other side of the road. Tiny Shellder, shame that's not shiny. Would have been a very nice shiny to obtain. A very tiny Shiny Shellder. Still got some more to catch from over that direction. Still that tiny one remains, unless it's a different one. It looks like it's the same one by the CP. Pokemon storage is full. Let's again clear out those. The tiny one has gone. There's only a 0-star, 1-star or 2-star. We've sorted our way through those catches somehow. We managed to find and get to the other side of that crazy amount of spawns that we saw. Huge Shellder now. I'm just trying to get firstly that Pokestop there, but also the one next to it if we can. There we go. And we're just managing to get that one. That one still hasn't caught from across there. For some reason not wanting to stay in the ball. Let's try an Ultra Ball for that one. We'll see if it stays in now. It has. Accidentally used the pineapple there, it wasn't intentional, but still we've got that task done. Didn't even realise we've got that task. This is a crazy amount of Shellder we've just managed to wade away through there. But that would have definitely helped with the XP and also with the Stardust from the hour. Wading away through those Shellder. Catch 10 water type Pokemon is a task we've just picked up, which is ideal with the Shellder being a water type. So inside the last 10 minutes now of the Spotlight Hour, Catch 10 water type is now completed. We've got quite a few Shellder left to catch. As we head up this road, there's normally quite a few good spawn areas on this road now. A few Pokestops and a couple of gyms, so let's spin this gym here just to retrieve a few of those Pokeballs that we've used during the hour. We're starting to get a little bit inaccurate on the throws. We need to just keep an eye on that. Keep hitting those excellent throws as much as we can over the last 7 minutes. Terrible throws. Shellder just keeps hitting them back as well. Finally managing to hit an excellent. Two nice curveball throws seems to be the task that we're currently doing. Again, completed relatively easy. Another 3 berries. Could do some Pokeball tasks, really, instead of berries. But still 5 minutes left of the Shellder spawns. There should be a couple more around here. And of course, roar of time, meaning that there's going to be a few in the outer circles as well. Sorry, spatial rend. Always keep saying roar of time. Spatial rend, sorry. Meaning that there's a few in the outer circles, as you can see here. Terrible throw on that Shellder though. So still none of these yet sparkled for us tonight. We're trying to get every single one of these caught to make the most of the XP and the Stardust bonus. I don't know what that black, for some reason somebody's put a lure on it and it's just coming up as a black cube on the game. I hope everyone else can see that visual effect. It's rather weird. Shiny Shellder with 3 minutes left to go. We have managed to get a Shiny Shellder on the live stream. Let's go. What a nice shiny that is. Lovely orange colour. And Shiny Shellder with 3 minutes left to go. It has been caught and a 0 star, a very, very bad 0 star as well, a 442 on the IV, so incredibly bad. But it's shiny nonetheless. We have managed to get one on the live stream. If you've stuck with me throughout the live stream, then big, big thanks. We are going to be doing a little bit of review in a moment as this live stream comes to an end and the spotlight hour comes to an end. But we have one Shiny Shellder now. We have got one. So a few last minute excellent throws as we enter one of the last minutes of the spotlight hour. We're now inside the very last minute of the spotlight hour. So less than a minute to go, just over a minute left on the Lucky Egg, but less than a minute to go of Shellder. Can we check these last few that have appeared here before the hour is finished? One more after this one, potentially. Not if he keeps hitting it back. Another one's just spawned. Have we got enough time? Unfortunately not. It's disappeared now. So spotlight hour is now complete. 7 o'clock has now come around. You can see all the Shellder that were about have now started to disappear. And the spotlight hour is now complete. 23 seconds left on the Lucky Egg. Let's just see if anything spawns that we can catch to make the most of that. And then we'll do a quick little review as well and see how we've managed to get on during the spotlight hour. So let's just catch this for Mantis, and that should pretty much see our Lucky Egg run out now, and then that will probably be just normal XP on that. So spotlight hour is now complete. Normal spawns, normal service has now resumed. Let's have a quick look and see how we managed to get on with Shellder tonight. Now we did manage to get one Shiny Shellder 3 minutes towards the end. Hopefully you saw that as well, but it was a very, very bad Shellder. It was a 442 on the RVs, not a very good one at all, but still a very, very cool shiny to get. A very nice orange colour when it goes shiny, and as you can see from a little graphic down the bottom near the evolution button, the cloister goes to a very, very nice blue colour. Unfortunately it doesn't keep it orange. I would have thought it would look even better in that orange, but it does go to a very nice blue colour nonetheless. And in terms of if we managed to get any hundos, let's just have a quick look there, and we did manage to get a hundo Shellder. So we got a hundo and a shiny during that spotlight hour. Very, very cool to be able to get both of those. Hundo Shellder, awesome. I don't know if I've managed to get one of those already in the past. Let's just check. And Shellder, and you'll be able to see if we managed to get one in the past. We managed to get one, so we've got the family completed now. One hundo Shellder tonight, one shiny Shellder, Tyrantrum in the wild, before we check on the amount of Stardust we managed to get tonight. So in terms of Stardust, we now have 19.4 million. So we started with around about 18.25 million XP, million Stardust should I say. We've just earned 1.2 million Stardust in the hour. Very, very good amount of Stardust. Of course, 3,000 Stardust per catch, meaning that we got a load of catches and a load of Stardust because of that. 1.2 million Stardust. Now in terms of XP, we've got around about 800,000 XP as well tonight, so very, very good on the XP. Of course Shellder was a nice excellent throw, and we had a Lucky Egg on, so 800,000 XP tonight is a very, very good amount of XP. So thanks very much for watching. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel as well, and turn on that notification bell, and I'll see you